into tonight's performance. For the past several years, I have contributed to the Mill Valley Chamber Music Society by writing program notes for concerts and occasionally turning pages for guest pianists. Thank you. I'm happy to have been part of this organization during its 40th anniversary season. Founded in 1973, the Mill Valley Chamber Music Society is a nonprofit organization that has brought world-class music to Mill Valley, enriching the city's cultural life and promoting classical music in Marin County schools through outreach programs. Tonight, we have two musicians who will perform chamber works by Handel, Brahms, and Bartók. Chamber music, often described as a conversation between friends, is an inherently intimate form of music. It is indeed a conversation among the performers, the composer and his music, and between musicians and their audiences. Pianist Bill Horn is the president of the Mill Valley Chamber Music Society. He has played the piano since the age of 6 and is an avid chamber musician. He also serves on boards of various music organizations, including the Associated Chamber Music Players, the San Francisco Friends of Chamber Music, and runs workshops for the chamber musicians of Northern California. He is also a proud Mill Valley Library volunteer. Violinist Frank Bliss earned his Bachelor of Music from UC Berkeley and his Master of Music from the University of Illinois Champaign-Urbana. He has performed with orchestras throughout the United States and Europe. Currently, he works, teaches, and performs music in the Bay Area. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Mill Valley Library Foundation and the Friends of the Library for making tonight's program possible. I would also like to remind you to silence your cell phones as they are distracting to the performers and those around you, and ask that you remain seated while the music is in progress. Thank you.
We are so thrilled to be here and to have such a wonderful audience. I should be so lucky to get this many people at Mill Valley Chamber Music Society. Is it because it's Friday night? Is it because there's free wine? Is it because it's free? What is it? I don't understand. It all of the above, right? So if we offered free wine, would you come to? No, I'll ask you later. I will talk a little bit more about an offer we have tonight for you as to possibly come to our season for the rest of the season. But I'm going to do that after the show. I think right now we should just talk about music. So that's my plan. Our first piece, you have programs, is a sonata by Georg Friedrich Handel. Handel was born in 1685, the same year as Bach, but he was born to a very unmusical family, unlike Bach. However, he showed early talent and was given very good musical training so that he learned not only German counterpoint, but also the Italian lyrical classical style with a melody and so on. And he became very popular when he came to England with the first Hanoverian king from Germany, George I, and just made a pile of money with royal patronage and everything in London. And of course you know that he wrote the royal fireworks music, the water music, those are some of his most famous pieces, and he wrote dozens and dozens of oratorios. Now I didn't know what an oratorio was until a few days ago when I was doing research, and I found out that oratorio comes from the Italian word for oratory, which is a small chapel. But they developed because the Italians, being good Catholics, were not allowed to go to performances, theatrical performances or opera, during Lent. And Italians couldn't stand it without any music during Lent. So they invented the oratorio where there's no costumes, no acting, and you use religious texts. So they got by with that. They got by the church. So that's how oratorios got started. And of course, Handel was a master at that. He lived a long and productive life, got a state funeral, is buried in Westminster Abbey. So pretty successful guy. He wrote 6 violin sonatas, most of them in the 1720s and 30s. This is number 4, and although some of them are of doubtful authenticity, did he really write them or not? Like many famous painters or composers, they had a whole workshop of people working for them. But this one we know is his. We have the original manuscript, and it's one of the best ones. This is number 4 in D major. It has a slow movement, slow, fast, like the Italian Sonata da Chiesa, or church sonata. And Handel really liked this music. He used the 2 fast movements in later works that he composed. So he really was proud of this piece, I think, too, and enjoyed it. So we're going to enjoy performing it for you, and I hope you enjoy it. Oh, yeah, I forgot. See, I should look at my notes. He's going to play the first 4 notes of the opening, which are quite unusual. That last note sounds wrong, right? It's a ninth, it's not an octave, and it's a very unusual thing to happen at this stage of musical development, but Handel uses it throughout. It provides quite a bit of tension and excitement in the first movement, so I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for reminding me. Next, we're going to play for you a Brahms violin sonata. Natasha mentioned that chamber music is a conversation among players, and if anybody made complicated conversation, it was Brahms. So, but it's so wonderful the way he blends everything together. He's one of the most revered romantic composers. He's really known for his superb interweaving style of everything. He was born in Hamburg in 1833, but moved to Vienna, where he really made a wonderful career in Vienna, which was the capital of music in Europe at that time. He was in the habit of vacationing in summers because, like Mahler, he liked to be out in the countryside among nature and would take long walks and figure things out in his head and so on. But in the few years prior to 1886, the year that this piece was written, he had been vacationing at the Royal Spa and a few other places in too close to Vienna, shall we say, in Austria, where he was pursued by ladies interested in their eligible daughters meeting Brahms, who was a bachelor. So he couldn't get any work done. And so he finally decided to change things. So in this particular summer, he went totally out of the country. He went all the way to Switzerland, to the Bernese Oberland, where a friend had invited him to come and stay with him on beautiful Lake Thun. Lake Thun is between Interlaken and Bern, so it's right there near the Jungfrauen. Beautiful, beautiful place. And he was extremely productive that summer. He was not interrupted very much. He wrote this work, which is called the Thun Sonata as a nickname, which is Opus 100, as well as the Cello Sonata number 2, Opus 99, a piano trio in C minor, his third piano trio, Opus 101, and a number of songs, Opus 105, which he wrote for, there was a singer, a soprano, living nearby with friends, and so they visited a lot, and he wrote some songs for her. All of Brahms' violin sonatas are known and closely related to his songs that he wrote, but especially this work. There are many different songs mixed into it. I'd like to just quote only one. It's entitled Wie Melodien zieht es mir auf, which means like melodies love wafts to me, where in the poem the love is compared to melodies coming to you or like the scent of flowers and so on. So very romantic. I'm going to demonstrate this is the second theme in the first movement. Of course, Brahms was smart enough to give all the good melodies to the piano first in this piece. It's actually known as a sonata for piano and violin, which is only appropriate. So anyway, I'm just teasing. You're giving up on me, okay. All right. Anyway, the whole sonata is really suffused with what is called a glowing intimacy, sweetness and gentility. There's really nothing harsh about it at all. One of his friends described it, said the whole sonata is a caress. So I think that's wonderful. There are three movements, as you have in the program. The first one we quoted from here is the Allegro Amabile. The first three notes of this, by the way, are exactly the same chords and notes as the first three chords from Wagner's Die Meistersinger, the Walther song from that. Right. But even Wagner, I mean, did you recognize that? Right. Even Wagner, though, had already said, if you are quoting a great song, as long as you don't quote, as you quote less than 4 notes, it's okay to quote. So, but I can tell you, I don't believe that Brahms quoted anybody. So I think that's just a coincidence that they happen to be the same chords. The second movement is a combination of a folk-like song, Andante, where it's hard to tell which one of us has the melody. You'll hear us going back and forth continually. And then this contrasts 3 times with a scherzo, with a vivace dance-like section, which that sounds a little hard to pull off, but Brahms can do it. So it's a marvelous piece. The final movement is technically a rondo, which means that both the first and second themes come back over and over again. But I can assure you that Brahms never repeated himself. There's always something different to watch out for. Anyway, this is a beautiful, intimate, fantastic piece that we enjoy playing, and we hope you're going to enjoy it as much. Thank you.
The last number on our program will be the Bartók Romanian folk dances. These are 6 short dances. You have them in your program there. He arranged them, actually, he wrote them in 1915, arranged it for violin and piano in 1916, and then for an orchestral arrangement in 1917. All 6 dances run about 6 minutes in total performance time, which is about the length of my comments. You'll hear that they're actually very efficient in their conveying the spirit of the source melodies. So these Romanian folk dances are considered some of Bartók's most popular works. They're based on instrumental melodies the composer had heard and recorded on phonograph cylinders during the ethnomusicology fieldwork in Transylvania from 1910 to 1912. He believed that the Romanian folk, being somewhat isolated from the Western European capitals, were more ethnomusicologically, try to say that 6 times fast, authentic than the areas further west. Bartók added only the most modest accompaniments to the folk melodies, yet despite that economy, he managed to provide a rich and original harmonic coloring and an exciting rhythmic foundation. The individual dances are contrasting in tempo and mood, ranging from the hauntingly lyrical to the exuberant. You have the movement titles in your program. The first one, Jakubata, is Dance with Sticks, which is from Transylvania. The Braul is a waistband dance from Yugoslavia. Pelok is the stamping dance from Egris, translated on the spot. I understand it's a dance that is done with staying in one spot. This particular one has one of the ones my favorite, and that has to do with the harmonics played on the violin that sounds a little bit like a flute. So you'll hear that. Busa is the horn dance from Bucum, Transylvania. Poarga Romanesca, Romanian polka. It's derived from a children's game, and it's from the Belenius district of Bihar on the border between Hungary and Transylvania. The rhythm is 3 beats, 3 beats, and 2 beats. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Like that, you'll hear that. And then that leads Ataka, meaning immediately, into the final Marantel, which is a quick dance, also from Belenius. And the dance uses very small steps and movements and combines 2 different dance melodies, one after the other. Béla Bartók was a quintessential ethnic composer who developed his own unique compositional style, but he rooted it in the Hungarian and the Eastern European peasant music with its exotic modes and rhythms. As World War II was heating up, his ability was restricted to travel, which put a dent in his research and his ability to live and work in the Romania that he loved. In 1940, he unwillingly but necessarily had to leave the Nazi persecution, and he came to the United States, where he died in New York in 1945 of leukemia at the age of 64.
Actually, it was wonderful. Natasha stole most of my stuff I was going to say about the Mill Valley Chamber Music Society, which is good. So you already know it was founded 40 years ago. I'll just point out that we're older than the Mill Valley Film Festival. So that's important to know. Okay, we put on 5 concerts a year at the Mount Tamalpais Methodist Church. All of the concerts are on Sunday afternoons at 5 o'clock, so it's usually a dead space in our weekend and so on, and it's very, very convenient. Additionally, we support chamber music education in the schools by outreach to the schools. We raise money for that and support that. Another thing that we do is that the Marin Music Chest, which was actually founded in 1933, it's even older than we are, provides scholarships for young high school musicians. And we sponsor their concert in May every year, and we give all of our subscribers a free ticket to that to encourage them to come and hear these marvelous chamber musicians. We're going to offer you a special tonight. This is one of the reasons I agreed to do this, so that I could not only do I work in the library, and I can't refuse them, but I was so excited to give a chance to offer you a chance for a partial subscription. We've already had our first 2 concerts, but we have 3 left that will be January 20th. I'm not sure I can get all the dates straight. January 26th, we have a cellist from Indiana University, Puerto Rican, Emilio Colon, with a marvelous program. And then in February the 23rd, we have the Escher Quartet from New York, who are promoted by the Emerson Quartet, one of the most famous quartets in the world. So they're supposed to be really hot. I haven't heard them yet. I'm looking forward to that. And our last concert is on March 23rd. These are all Sundays. It's a group called ZOFO, which stands for 20 Finger Orchestra. It's a 4-hand piano. And these guys are fabulous. They're from San Francisco, Eva Maria Zimmerman and Kaizuki Nakagoshi from the conservatory. And they are just incredible pianists playing together and turning pages and reaching over each other. And they're just marvelous. They do things like Stravinsky's Rite of Spring for 4 hands on the piano. They're not going to do that for us, but they're going to do Holst the Planets, which you were hearing a while ago. They're going to do that and some other pieces. So these are wonderful. Anyway, we're offering the special that you can have these concerts at our same subscription price, which is $20 a ticket. We're so inexpensive because we have such a wonderful volunteer board that has been working for years and years just because of their love of chamber music. And I hope that you all love chamber music now after tonight. So I want to recognize our board members. I think there are at least 3 here. Joe, who does the outreach in the schools. He taught in the Mill Valley schools for a long time. And we have 2 ladies over here, Tina Kuhn, and there she is. Tina does a million things, and next to her is Liz Stone. And we have a former board member here, Elsa Burton, but you can't tell what she's standing up, but okay. And so we're going to have out at the door when you leave. We won't let you out unless you take one. But we have forms if you'd like to sign up for the rest of the year. And you get your name on a mailing list. We even give you a free ticket to one of the concerts. And I mean, there's all kind of advantages. So it's a real deal. And it's about half the price you'd pay for concerts similar. We get world-class musicians here from all over. So we would love to have you join us for the rest of the season. So thank you all so much for coming. This is the biggest audience I think I've ever played for in my entire amateur career, and it was great fun. Thank you a lot. You're a great audience. And thanks to the library and the Library Foundation for doing this. Thank you so much.